This is Dawn Priolat. I'm a little bit nervous because this is the first time that I've done this live on Facebook. But right now I'm going to be doing your love tarot and tapping reading for the month of August. And I really do apologize. I know it's been a while since you've heard from me that I've done the readings. But this time I'm going to do all three of the air signs together. And I'm going to do the tarot, which is going to show you the general energies for the month in your love relationship. And then at the end of all of the readings, I'm going to take you through, guide you through a round of tapping, EFT tapping. For those of you who don't know much about tapping, all you really need to do is follow along. I'm just going to be tapping on some points on my face, and you can just follow along. It is a mind-body technique, and I'm adding it to the tarot reading because, quite frankly, the tarot reading is only to tell you the general energies of what's going on. Here's the thing, though, and this is the really cool thing. You are so powerful that you are the creator of your own life. And in order for you to change the energies that are already here, that are already showing up in your life, tapping is a very effective technique to do that, to change the energy in a positive way, because normally what we do is we do tapping to release the negative emotions and feelings that are coming up for you. And because these points that we're tapping on are release points. They're actually acupuncture points. Except that we, thank goodness, we don't need to use needles, right? Okay, so without further ado, I want to go ahead and start with Aquarius. And for Aquarius, I've already shuffled the cards because I want to get right into this. Aquarius, this is you right now. And, by the way, for this reading, I want you to think about either the relationship you're currently in, a romantic relationship, or, it could be a friendship too. But you really set the intention for the relationship that you want this to be for. So you go ahead and set your intention that, okay, this is for my relationship with fill in the blank, right? So this is you right now. This is the present, Aquarius. And this card is telling me, it's the Four of Cups. There is a feeling of disappointment here. There is a relationship this month that you're going to be feeling some disappointment with. Also, perhaps you're kind of tending to focus on what's wrong with the relationship. What's negative about it. And so I want to warn you that, from the point of view of law of attraction, what we focus on, well, not even just law of attraction, quantum physics, whatever we focus our attention on is what kind of multiplies. It actually gets bigger, okay? And since we are the creators of our own lives, we're that powerful, what you're focusing on is, you're manifesting it. So that's, the energy that's happening now. And this was the near past for you, Aquarius. This is Seven of Wands. There's been some struggle in this relationship. There has been something going on, some disagreements. And also with this card, where you're at right now, I feel there's a lot of disappointment, and it could be like a disillusionment. There's been struggle going on. I'm feeling like maybe this person isn't who you thought they were. There may be a disappointment. There may be some things that you were wanting in the relationship, you were expecting, and you're not getting it. And there's also a feeling here that I get with this card. There may be some stubbornness, like an unwillingness or a inability to express what it is you want and need in the relationship. And this is really, really common, especially for women, because we learned at a very, very young age, many of us, that we're not going to get what we ask for anyway. So we kind of take on this vow that says, well, I'm going to make a vow to never have a need, or if I do have a need, I sure as hell am not going to let anybody know, because I'm not going to get what I want anyway. And this is kind of our way of trying to avoid getting hurt, and actually it ends up having the opposite effect, because then the person that you're in relationship with has no freaking clue what is going on. And, you know, and this is especially true of women. Hello. We think everyone should be psychic, and I'm telling on myself here, okay? Like, everybody should just know. And the problem is, for us women, women oftentimes are a lot more emotionally sensitive, so oftentimes we do know when things are going wrong. So your girlfriends would know kind of when something's going on with you, but oftentimes men have absolutely no clue. So you got to tell them, right? So, okay, so in the near future we have the Queen of Staves, but she's in the reverse. Now, normally this is a very dynamic, gracious woman. She can be very generous, very fiery. They're telling me, like, for some of you Geminis, this is, you know, you have a good sense of humor, generally speaking, nice to be around you, but it came up in the reverse, so I'm just getting that, you know, you're not going to be your normal gracious self. You know, this is kind of the future energy of what's coming up for you in the month of August. Now, I also pulled one card from the Healing with the Angels deck. This is by Doreen Virtue. And it's curando. And curando means you're healing. You know, look at that picture. You're actually healing. Like, they're saying this is bringing up. Some kind of behavior has happened that is bringing up. It's triggering for you memories from possibly the past, possibly your childhood. If there's been a lot of childhood trauma, and your partner's behavior is triggering some things that may remind you of your dad or your mom or your stepdad, you know, whatever, somebody from the past. It's just re-triggering it. Or you may be remembering a relationship that went wrong in the past, and it's really getting re-triggered. And so this curando card is just to remind you that you are in a period of healing right now, Aquarius. So be gentle on yourself and have some compassion with yourself. Okay? So I'm going to move on now to, I'm going to pull 3 cards for Gemini. I'm going to mix these up really quick. Ooh, got cards jumping out all over the place. So Gemini, think about your intention for this reading. Think about a particular person, a relationship you're involved in, or maybe an issue that's going on in your relationship. And as I'm shuffling the cards, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. So, you in the present. Okay, you're kind of waiting. And the near past decision that needed to be made. And coming up in the near future. Ooh, 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Working on something. And let me go ahead and also pick for you one of the Healing with the Angels cards. Criaturas, children. Okay, so now let's get to what all this means. So, for you, Gemini, you have the Seven of Pentacles. This is kind of where you're at right now. And it's like you have planted your garden, you've sown your seeds, and you're kind of waiting for some results. You're waiting for something to happen. So since this is a relationship reading, this is telling me that there's something going on in your relationship that you're just kind of waiting for something to happen. And in the near past, it was like, here you are trying to make a decision, probably about this same relationship, trying to make a decision one way or the other, but not really wanting to. Very difficult. Turning, and even in the picture, she's got her back to the water. Water represents emotions, and she's got her back to her emotions, so to speak, very metaphorical, like she doesn't want to feel what she's feeling. Like it's too intense. She's got her eyes are blindfolded, doesn't want to see, doesn't want to feel, and she's got like two choice, well, I could either stay, I could go, and right now I'm just wanting to turn my back and put on my blindfold because I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to have to make this decision. And so that may resonate for you. Okay, so coming up in the very near future and, for this month of August is we have the Eight of Pentacles. You're working on something. Now, this may have to do directly with your relationship or maybe not so directly. In other words, this may just mean that you are working on, maybe you're going to school, maybe you're working on a certification, as I am a Gemini, so this does make sense for me. Working on getting a certification, working on getting more training for your actual career could be. And or it could also just mean that, because this is a relationship reading, that you are working on something related to this relationship. That you are kind of waiting around to see, what's going to happen with that. So instead of just waiting here, as it's showing you in the present, it's like you're going to be taking some actions and actively maybe working on that relationship. I don't know, maybe going to counseling, maybe going to a seminar, a relationship seminar, to try to help you to make this relationship move forward so that you're not waiting anymore, because you may be waiting on a commitment, you may be waiting on, some kind of sign that, this relationship is actually going to go somewhere or not, whatever the case may be. And so that may be what this is you doing something to work on the relationship so that you can get out of this waiting around, because this, I don't know, this feels painful, this whole, not being able to decide, not wanting to make a decision, and here you're just waiting. It's kind of painful, actually. And so I pulled the angel card for you, which is Criaturas, and this actually has to do with childhood stuff. So it makes a lot of sense, Gemini, that you are maybe taking classes, getting counseling, doing something, working on childhood stuff. Very well could be. Or for those of you who have children, you may be experiencing some issues Actually, for some of you, some issues that may be coming up with your own children may be triggering some stuff that's happened to you. If you have a child, for example, who maybe you found out that they have been molested, if you've never dealt with your stuff, it's going to really trigger you. You may need counseling. I'm just saying this, is a possible way that this may apply for some of you, obviously, not everybody. For some of you, this is going to be just about you working on your childhood issues as it relates to this relationship that you're in now and relationships in general. So good on you, Gemini. Okay, so we have one more. We have Libra now. I'm going to pull the cards for Libra. And this is for you, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're looking for a relationship. Of course, it's going to apply differently depending on what your status is. But generally, if you just pick somebody that you are, maybe somebody you're dating, even if you've only had one date with this person and you want to kind of see how some of these cards may fit for you. So this is for Libra. Okay, so we have where you are right now. 8. Oh, wow. Okay, another card just jumped out. Okay, so we have the 8 of Staves for where you are right now. So I'm just going to put that down. Another card jumped out. And I'm going to... It's the Moon card. So I'm going to pull this one out just because it may have something to do with that 8 of Staves where you're at right now. And I'm going to explain that in a couple of minutes. So let's pull the one for your near past. The Sun. Really good card. And for the near future, oh wow, you got the Lovers. This is a Gemini card. And this is also thought to be by many kind of a soulmate type of card. This is quite possibly a soulmate for you, Libra. So I'm going to go ahead as well and pull an angel card for you. Romance. There it is. Yay. Okay, so here we go, Libra. So Libra, 8 of Staves. This is the energy of where you're at right now. And it looks like you're hitting your mark. These are 8 staves, and it's like there's movement. They're flying through the air, and they're hitting a particular mark. This is a really good card. Staves often has to do with our career, but it doesn't have to be. And so in your particular relationship, you could feel like, wow, this is really hitting the mark. This is what I've been wanting. That's what I'm feeling. Although, because the Moon came up, and it kind of, the way that it came up, it looked like it was a little bit in the reverse. So it's just a warning that there may be things that you don't know yet, and there may be some unconscious things as well that may come up. Of course, it's important to be aware that the person that you're attracted to, it's always your subconscious programming that is actually choosing in every given moment. It is your subconscious, not your conscious, really, that is actually guiding you. You think it's your conscious mind, but it's actually the subconscious that is really guiding you in your decisions, because this is all the programming from your childhood. So just something to bring up. In your near past, the Star, some of you may have, well, of course, a lot of places are warm right now, but some of you may have come back from a vacation in a warm place recently. Maybe you actually met someone, or for those of you who are coupled, maybe this is just referring to a vacation time that you just spent with this person recently. A lot of good feeling with this card. There's a little child here. I'm feeling like childhood fun, childlike fun, being playful in the relationship, having a good time, really possibly taking a vacation, a cruise, somewhere warm. For some of you, that could be what it means for you. But this is really a good card. This is a happy card. This is a lot of good times together. So just a really good card, Libra. Good feelings with this. And, of course, this is the energy for the month of August. So, it looks like you're doing good for this month. And it's getting better because this is what's coming up during this month. You've got the Lovers, which is a total Gemini card. So I'm wondering, Libra, if some of you are dating or have a partner who may be a Gemini. For some of you, that is true. But this tends to be like a soulmate union. This is somebody who you're going to feel probably like you've always known them. Maybe you feel like you have past life ties with them. But I get a very, very good feeling with this. And, of course, the angel card is romance. So for you, Libra, wow, lots of romance with a soulmate, which is, like, way cool. And just just be aware that there may be some unknown things about this person. So maybe, and I don't want to, spoil your happiness or anything like that. But, sometimes we tend to start imagining ourselves with his last name before we even know very much about somebody, because we feel that soulmate connection. Just because somebody is a soulmate, remember, doesn't mean that you don't have some lessons to learn. And believe me, a soulmate will bring up all kinds of lessons for you. So just remember that, Libra. And remember, if something is bothering you, ask the question, because it's better to find out now and see if it's something you can deal with than to find out later and find out that it's something you can't deal with, something that is a deal breaker for you. So I'm going to get a drink of water, and I'm going to do a round of tapping with you. And it's advisable to drink water when you're tapping because it just helps the energy clear much faster. All that talking, I got dry mouth. Okay. So, I want to focus on what came up in the very first reading, the one for Aquarius. I mentioned about feeling disappointment. I mentioned a very important vow, which is the vow at the second chakra. It is the vow to never have a need, or a vow to never be vulnerable. And it really comes from this place of, I've already learned as a child that I'm not going to get my needs met because maybe you had a mother or a parent who ignored you most of the time when you needed to be picked up, you needed affection, you needed love, and you had a parent who just kind of ignored you. And now you're an anxious attachment type, you're in your attachment style in your relationship. So anyhow, let's do some tapping around this vow to never be vulnerable, which means you're never going to ask. And I want to bring in some things about, what the fear is. If I ask, I'm afraid that what is going to happen. So first we start out on the karate chop point. It's just the side of your hand right underneath your pinky, and just tap right there with about 3 fingers. And just repeat after me. even though I have this vow from a very long time ago, I made a vow to never be vulnerable again. Which means I have a really hard time asking for what I want and what I need in relationships. And boy, does it ruin them. I'm just going to honor and accept myself and everything I went through because of this vow. Even though it's not safe for me to express my feelings, to express my needs, because they're never going to get met. What's the point? What is the point of asking when I'm just going to get turned down? I'll be ignored. Or even worse, he's going to run away from me. He's going to say I'm needy. Even though I made a vow, a second chakra vow, to never, ever have a need, to pretend that I'm fine all the time, no matter how I really feel. And the universe and people have believed it. And they treat me just that way. They treat me like I don't need anything. And therefore I get nothing. Because I'm so afraid to ask. I choose to love and honor and accept myself, even with this vow. And now tapping through the points, we start at the top of the head. I'm so afraid to ask for what I want. And now at the beginning of the eyebrows, I'm so afraid to say how I really feel. And now at the end of the eyebrows, and it'll help to take off your glasses, I am so afraid to express my feelings. Underneath the eye, because my needs are never going to get met. It's always been that way. Under the nose, he'll say I'm needy. On the chin, he'll say I'm high maintenance, and he'll run away. So I have to just keep my mouth shut and say nothing. Yeah, I learned that from my mom. Don't rock the boat. You'll just cause trouble. And then he'll leave. And now we're going to tap right in the middle of the chest, right on the heart point. I am so afraid to ever express a need, because I'm afraid I will be abandoned if I ever express that I need something. I'm just being too high maintenance to ask for anything. I'm so afraid I'm going to get dumped if I do. And that's the truth. And take a nice deep breath and just release all that and let it go. Release all the fear. Okay, so I want to do one more round. I want to do something that's a bit more positive. I know I've just brought up a lot of stuff, and for some of you, this may be triggering. And if you're getting triggered, if it's triggering something from childhood, a lot of pain, just keep tapping. Just choose one point and just keep tapping. And I promise you, it's actually a good thing because you're clearing it out. This is a mind-body tool. It's going to clear it out of your energy system. You don't have to hold on to it anymore, whatever it is. Okay? And we're going to do a more positive round now. And this time, okay, well, yeah, we'll start on the karate chop point again. So here we go, on the karate chop point. Even though I made a vow a long time ago not to honor my own feelings, not to even have any feelings, or at least not to show that I do, because it wasn't safe for me. wasn't safe to express my feelings. And nobody honored my feelings ever. What if it could be safe now? What if I could attract to me people who would honor my feelings? What if I could? Even though I made this second chakra vow a long time ago, and it's the way that I kept myself safe at that time. It was appropriate. Or at least it's all I could really do. I choose to love and honor myself now. And honor the fact that I have choices now. What if it could be safe for me to practice honoring my feelings, one baby step at a time? What if I could just say to somebody, you know, I have needs too, even in a joking kind of way. I have needs too. You want to hear them? Even though I made this vow a long time ago, and I'm starting to question whether it's working for my relationships now. Because I tend to get so resentful and so angry when people can't read my mind about what it is I need or what it is I want, or when they're doing something that really bothers me. I'm so afraid to speak up. What if it could be safe for me to speak up? What if the way that I'm imagining they're going to react is not even so? And now let's tap through the points. This remaining vow to be so self-sufficient. This remaining vow to hide all of my feelings because nobody's going to care about them. This remaining vow to pretend that I have no vulnerability whatsoever. And so I walk around looking like everything's fine all the time, no matter what's going on. This remaining fear that if I cry or show any kind of emotions or show that I don't like something, that I'll just be dumped. Too high maintenance. Wow, under the nose. Is that really true? Is it really true that everyone will just dump me and get rid of me and abandon me? Or is that just a fear that I have from a really long time ago when I felt abandoned? And maybe that little 4 or 5-year-old child thought it was because I needed too much. Maybe that little child thought that I was too much of a burden. Now, tapping on the heart point. I can choose to let this go. I can choose to ask for one thing today that maybe I've been afraid to ask for. Just take one baby step today. And take a deep breath and let it go. And that's really all you need to do, is just start with just one thing. What's one thing that maybe has been bothering you? Maybe it's something your partner does, or something that you've wanted, something that you need. Maybe you just need to spend more time with them. Just find one thing today that you can say to your partner, you know, it would be really nice if I could have this, you know, and not being bitchy or demanding, just, you know, I really would love it if you would do XYZ. I really would feel good if I could have this, you know, and maybe you won't get it right away. Maybe you have to buy the flowers for yourself. Maybe you have to, you know, But whatever it is, it's just funny because men don't really, often they just don't know. And we have to really start asking. And that is going to free up your abundance in so many ways. Because if you're afraid to ask a man, if you're afraid to ask your partner for what you want, imagine the universe is actually trying to give you things. God is trying to shower you with love and everything that comes with being loved by God and loved by the universe, divinity, whatever you want to call it. All the money, all the resources, friendships, great relationships. God is trying to shower you with all of this. And it's like basically, energetically, you've got your hands over your chest and you're saying, nope, I'm just fine. I'm fine. I'm good. And then you wonder why you don't get more. You don't get more opportunities in life. So that was your Love Tarot readings for the month of August. And I want to tell you, if you want a more extended reading, you can go to my website, which is www.dawnpriolette.com, and it's spelled Priolette. And also, I'm going to put a link, when this goes on YouTube, I will put a link right underneath the video that will take you right to my website. I'm going to be doing a special this month, 3 readings actually for the price of 2. So let me know if you need a more lengthy consultation, or if you are having some relationship issues and you would like to do a tapping session with me, you also can do that as well. Okay? So, I will be doing the other readings for the other signs, hopefully shortly. I have a meeting to go to, though, right now. It's my meeting with the French group, and so we're going to be speaking French together, and so I will see you soon, hopefully tomorrow, actually, with some more live readings for you. So till then, my name again is Dawn Priolette, and I help smart, competent women, probably like you, to stop taking the crumbs in relationships and to show up in a way that you can actually attract a soul mate who is willing to give to you. But you got to be open to receive. Hello? Okay, so bye-bye, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care.